Well. No sooner do we talk about Gran Turismo not having much update news, and we get some update news. We have some controversial news because of the nature of what the three vehicles are, especially after a bit of a wait between the last update and this one. The last one, of course, was overall, I would say, a pretty good one. In terms of content, Scuderia, Gallardo, new circuit after a very long wait. Not my personal favourite of circuits, but still, something is better than nothing. This time around, of course, we'll have to wait and see if there is any circuit. I'm not going to hold my breath for that, especially so soon, but this does kind of otherwise have the vibe of something which would have had a circuit given the kind of cars that are here this time around. It appears to be two which are pretty easy to call, one which of course was already in the data mining list. This is probably the one which out of the three will please the most people, certainly because this is one of the cars which I see the most often in terms of people wondering when it's going to come back, especially since it was on the list, really anticipating its return. And not too far on the heels of the EVO 9, we have the EVO 8, which appears to be coming back. Like I said, that was in the leaked list, so it's nothing too surprising. And of course, for fans of the EVO, it's a pretty obvious one to do. I'm personally going to quite enjoy building an FQ400, depending on what kind of visual upgrades we have for this one. Next up, if we move to the top one, this is probably the strangest, and for me at least, the least expected out of the three cars. What appears to be another variation of essentially the ambulance, which we already have in the game. Of course, we have the High Medic. This appears to be a normal Hiace. Again, from what I was told from multiple comments, it seems that Kaz was putting the ambulance in the game as kind of a sign of gratitude and respect when the disasters happened in Japan, a lot of the, first responders and stuff. That makes sense, that's a nice sentiment, and it's a cool, like, old-school Gran Turismo vibe of car, like the pace cars and the moon buggy, those weird kind of things. This one, I don't know, it's a bit weird in comparison to that one. It's just a normal van in comparison to that. So I would assume probably fairly similar tuning parameters between this one and the other one. Maybe we might get some motor swaps available for both of them, perhaps at the same time. Perhaps something like the Toyota Alphard. It'd be pretty cool to put a V10 into this as well. It seems that they are obsessed with giving us every possible van at this point other than the Renault Espace F1, but hey. And then the last one is not really a surprising vehicle, but some will kind of roll their eyes at this one. Funnily enough, not so much at an EVO 8, even though it's a variant. This one probably more so because it's another GT-R, and more specifically it's what appears to be the much newer, updated 2024 style facelift GT-R. Not really to the surprise of anyone that a Nissan GT-R would be featured in the game. For me personally, the more disappointing thing, purely talking about R35s, is that I would have much preferred having the 2007 R35 added, which again I think was in the leaked list. I could be wrong on that one, but that's to this day my favourite version. That original R35 from 2007, back when the Audi R8 4.2 came out. It was a fantastic little rivalry between those two cars, and that GT-R to me is one of the most important milestones in the performance car world, honestly up there with the Veyron, the McLaren F1, because it redefined what you could do, certainly on a budget, for a supercar, if you will, a £60,000 car that could just destroy virtually everything. Sure, it's going to be quick, but so are the other ones. Like I said, we'll have to see what else arrives, presumably maybe 5 new motor swaps. We'll have to see, I guess, maybe a circuit. Like I said, don't hold your breath. And I think for many people this will probably be a bit of a lackluster update, to say the least, if not an annoying one in some cases. But overall, that's it for this bit of news. Of course, this one is arriving next week, so based on our usual rollout, you can assume a Thursday drop, which will probably mean a late Wednesday trailer, so stick around for those. Of course, I will be doing other videos in the meantime regardless. And if nothing else, if you are looking for something to do in the game and you haven't checked out my special project series, well, that brings in effect new vehicles to the game through the use of the livery editor and doing tuning setups to recreate cars that we used to have. I'm not saying it's, going to completely tide you over, but it's at least better than nothing. So, of course, give that a try if you haven't already. Stick around for more news, and I'll see you next time with more. But for now, thanks for watching.